Hello, welcome to Alpha Book Club. This is our online interactive book club that you can join right from your computer. I'm Rachel Heine, and joining me as always is Geekbomb's Maude, Garrett. It's ladies' night.
Hi. Yeah, sorry, Hector. He's not here to defend it.
Yeah, we can say whatever we want.
Someone's going to give that incentive straight to him. Or not, because we're a community.
And we love him. And, you know, Hector Navarro is not here. He is away twirling and growing his mustache. So we'll just...
He's got a lot to grow if he's going to keep up with Mr. Poirot.
I hate the one that's in the trailer.
That's too much
It makes me upset. It looks like a caterpillar, and I have a whole thing about caterpillars. They really freak me out.
I'm kind of waiting for men to be offended that is setting unrealistic expectations on how much facial hair men can actually grow. Look how thick that is.
No one can grow that.
That's 3
that is
inches
not a real
deep.
mustache.
3 inches deep
It makes me irrationally angry to look at his face with that mustache.
It's the feather duster from Beauty and the Beast,
yes,
but like on his face. So he's eaten. No, don't go there.
Oh, welcome to our Alpha community. We are so happy to have you here, and it's going to be a good show. And we're talking about Murder on the Orient Express, which is also a feature film coming out this week, hence the Kenneth Branagh mustache. He also directed the film. I haven't seen it yet, but I rewatched the trailer after I read up to the section that we're reading. And it is interesting to see who they cast in all these parts. It helps me kind of visualize it a little bit.
Do you agree with a lot of the casting, or should we wait for the last one?
We can get into that, but the one thing that's bothering me so far, and we can kind of talk about what's happened and everything, and welcome to everyone. If you guys have questions or theories in the comments, let us know. If you've read it before, please don't spoil it, because I read it when I was a kid, but I have no earthly recollection of what happened, because I was young and just like, I'm going to read all the books. But Poirot, for me, I really like the comedy, the sort of observational comedy in this book. It's him, and it's also the narrator or the descriptions of the characters. And in the trailer, Kenneth Branagh is like very dark and serious, and like it's very like, you know, it's a modern interpretation, even though it's period piece. But he goes, "I am the greatest detective in the world." I'm very proud of that. I'm just gonna say, I wasn't sure I was gonna do it.
We haven't even had wine yet.
I know, but I just feel like that's not him. I feel like he's subtle. I feel like he's kind of playing it close to the vest so far. What do you think?
Very well. I mean, the thing about reading the book is that it's just text, so the way it sounds in your head is completely up to you and at your discretion. And the author only does so much, but you kind of fill in the blanks. When listening to an audiobook, and especially listening to Dan Stevens, who is a very great actor and has flawlessly dipped between a Romanian, where is she from? Romania? The princess accent. Not liking a fan of that one. It's deeper than his own speaking voice.
Oh,
his
weird.
woman's voice. Yeah. Anyway,
is that the one who's the princess?
Yeah,
who looks like a toad.
Dragonmoff or whatever her name is.
Interesting.
Yeah, really deep.
Yeah, like
man's
Umbridge.
voice.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I picture with like no neck.
Exactly. Yeah. Just like neck is melted away. But he has his own very, very distinct version of Poirot, and which is why I can't say Poirot anymore. It's Poirot because it's in a French accent. Hercule. It's like when Americans, when you say herb, you don't put the H on it. I've got real beef with that.
Herb.
I watched an ad for herbal essences. Yeah. It's like her. It's a real big H there, like so not silent. Anyway, Hercule Poirot, we're back there again.
Yep.
Hercule. It sounds like I'm retching in my throat when I say his name. Hercule.
I know, sometimes, like, can you speak any French? Can you speak any French or anything?
Oh, no.
That was pretty good, though.
Le petit.
Yeah, I think the one phrase that I like, is like, un petit peu. A little bit.
Again, it sounds like someone's like drunkenly walking for the first time.
Speaking of, but we will get into the movie a little bit more. Because we can't talk about the movie without Hector here. I feel like, but also. That's good for the end of the book. But I will say, Maude, the only thing that saves Johnny Depp from being in the movie is he is the one who dies, right? Please tell me it's him.
He's dead.
It is. He is Ratchet, a.k.a. Cassini.
A.k.a. Rat Shit.
Yeah.
Because that man was abusive.
Piece of garbage.
Yeah.
So if you guys are just joining us, you can If you've read up to this point, you can join us in the chat. We always have the older episodes on VOD, on Project Alpha, and we chat about different episodes also in the forums if you can't watch live. So if you're watching this in the future, come chat with us.
In the past.
Sure. Yeah.
Time is so
it's a flat
relative.
circle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have been reading this book, and we're on a train, and we have Hercule Poirot, who's the greatest detective in the world, but nobody... Just ask him, but nobody knows that yet. And Ratchet, this creepy dude that tries to hire Poirot, says the people are after him, turns up dead. We've met this colorful cast of characters, people from all over the world. Don't really trust any of them at this point.
I don't really like any of them.
Yeah, I don't...
Maybe Mary Debenham.
Yeah, I don't trust her. I mean, there's a reason that I like in the beginning we meet her on a different train, and she knows the colonel.
Yes.
And they haven't really interacted yet so far on the train. They're almost pretending like they don't know each other. And Poirot pointed out that her anxiety that he overheard on the train was different from the one. So I feel like she's connected to it somehow. I don't know. I feel like it's too obvious that she's the killer because she's in the beginning.
Got it.
But what I really like about the second section is that we get into the actual
questioning
detective work.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you like this better than last week?
I noticed such a shift.
Yeah.
The first one was very descriptive, unnecessarily so sometimes. But what I realized with Agatha Christie's writing is knowing that it's a whodunit and it's a murder mystery, and we are getting to know these characters. Every description could be the tidbit. It could be that crucial bit of information, but it's done in such a throwaway way. So when I'm reading it, I'm trying to catch all these tidbits, and I'm not sure what's the throwaway and what's the crucial. So it can make it a little bit difficult to read and to, like a fluid reading, and to appreciate and enjoy the story because you want to know if you're competitive like me.
Yes. I like it too because every time Agatha Christie introduces a clue, before her Poirot says it, I'm like, no way, too easy. And then he's like, no. And he immediately he's thinking in the way that I feel like people who like whodunits start to think, because there is a pattern to it. It changes, but there's a lot of red herrings, always. And I find myself, I don't know if you're doing this, I'm taking notes on all the characters. But what I like about this too is that once we get into the second section, he goes through where everyone's rooms are, which has to be important.
Which I need to visualize. If this could be like an AR experience.
Ooh.
Where even if it's an audible, but
and you could go to the window. Oh yeah, like a point, those are my favorite. Like I'm not a big, I just don't play a ton of video games. I would like to, but those are my favorite because it's a visual novel basically, but you get 100%. To do the exploring.
But I need to almost be in the space to look around and be like, all right, my bearings are set. Because at the moment, I have no idea where 13 is in comparison to 2. I don't know how many are in the...
You need this then.
Oh,
because you're listening to it. I forgot.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I sat on the book. Oh yes! What is that? Page 91 for everyone playing at home.
Yeah. So this has been super helpful for me to sort of imagine what's going on. And marking all of the red herrings, but because I'm keeping notes, and so I want to kind of go through and see what people think is happening. Java Book Geek Girl says, I kind of want one of the women to be a killer, because initially it was assumed the killer was a woman because of the weak stab marks, and instead the killer is obviously someone very intelligent. I super agree with that.
Hold on, what do you mean instead?
Because when they first assumed that the killer was a woman, it was because they were like, well, it was
she's
passionate and whatever and rash, but now we're seeing that there are all these false clues, and clearly someone is throwing the scent way, way off, because
still could be a woman.
Exactly, and it would be great, I think, is what Java Book Geek Girl is saying, because everyone kind of wrote off the women as just kind of being more rash. But I have this list that I'm keeping of potential clues so far, so I want to kind of go through some of them if you guys will indulge me.
100%.
Number 1, I still don't trust Monsieur Book.
Oh, 100%. Even more so now. Because, and I'm going to finish this for you, because we have to be on the same page, quite literally, pun intended. But when he was like, it must be a woman, because only a woman acts out in rage like that, multiple stabbings. And now in this quarter that we've just read, oh, it must be the Italian man because we all know that the Italians are the weapon of choice is the knife. He is so ready to jump on a theory and commit to that and be so ready
he wants to solve it. And I think they're trying to make it seem like he's ready to solve it because he wants to, it's his train, but he runs into Poirot. He's saying that he's going somewhere and that's why he's on this train. The train's supposed to be empty, but it's full of people. That's super weird. Like, that's an interesting detail. But I also think that he moves Poirot around his rooms. He was going to have him in the room 16, which is supposed to be empty all the time, but someone's in there. I don't know what the deal is with that. Then they put him in the room the first night, and then he moves him into his own room next to Ratchet so that he can hear it. That's what it feels like. It's weird that he happened to be there. It's weird that he immediately brought, of course he would bring the detective. But the reasons that I think he's supposed to be there is I think all the things he heard and all the timing is wrong. Because he's the one that hears, supposedly, Ratchet speaking to the conductor. He hears the bump. He hears someone washing up. I feel like that's a misdirection. I feel like maybe someone was in there. We don't know that the conductor was actually, he's only hearing this. So there's like a conductor button somewhere. There's someone hiding in, what's her name? Again? Mrs. H, I wrote down, so.
Hubbard,
which is Michelle Pfeiffer, which I don't see at all.
No, neither. Thank you. That's really poor casting.
I thought like, I'm trying to think of like a really Southern actress.
What about, I'm going to throw this out there, who is Kate Winslet's mother on the Titanic?
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
There you go.
I don't know her name, but I know we're saying. Oh yeah, Thrash Odin made a big web with cue cards to track all the information.
Yes,
amazing. I love it so much. It's really interesting. So I don't trust anything that Poirot heard because I think it might be for his benefit. Then there's also the kimono. Someone wants to think that someone's either a woman or going the different way. They pointed out that she went to the bathroom, but did she ever come back from the bathroom? The loud thump and the washing, I don't know what the deal is with that.
And it's just no body description. Like they didn't see the head or anything. It's just that they're donning a kimono, not even the body shaped. It wasn't broad. It's such an assumption that is a woman, you're right.
And then all the clues that are left in the room, the handkerchief.
Which was planted.
And the pipe, which also is planted. And then we get into finding out who Ratchet is, which is awful.
Real nasty business. That he kidnapped an established family's daughter who was very well loved, had a stupid amount for a ransom, which they paid, but realized the daughter had been killed 2 weeks before the
She was like 3, like a baby, like a toddler. I mean, this is some messed up stuff.
But that's not the worst part. It's like the fact that, the mother,
and the whole family,
stillbirthed. And then she died during the stillbirth, and then the father obviously, committed suicide.
And the maid was accused, and then she killed herself too, or the nanny or something.
That's right.
Yeah, so this whole family, it's weird too, because this is a weird, but I in LA, there's a theater camp that I went to and taught at. Thanks, Erin. That is on the grounds of a mansion called the Doheny Mansion in Beverly Hills. It was right next to where the Osbournes' house was, which was filming at the time that I was in high school, and I thought that was really cool. But it's a Doheny, the street's named after, was an oil tycoon, and there's all these rumors that the house is haunted because of a similar thing where everyone in the family ended up dying in all these random ways.
Okay.
In the 20s, and things like the grounds of the X-Men movies, where Xavier's house is, the first trilogy, that's filmed there. Gilmore Girls, these like famous filming locations. But it reminded me of that story of this wealthy family losing everything, and I like that we learned that so far several people are connected to this family in some way so far, and I feel like more are going to be connected because it seems like, it just feels like an Agatha Christie thing to me, that you would have too many suspects. But do you have any suspects yet?
Well, could that be the reason why there's so many on the train? Because they are actually a team effect. Well, we do know Hercule has obviously, along with the doctor, realized that there were post-mortem stabbings. So he's died due to one stabbing, or 3, and then has been re-stabbed after he's died. So obviously it happened in the dark, and the second killer didn't even know that he was dead.
Yeah, but then it's like, could someone be? Yeah, it's very weird. It feels like multiple people were coming after him in different ways.
Yeah.
Or they're working together.
Side conversation altogether, that second killer who has stabbed a dead body, can you be convicted of murder if they're already dead? You can't, can you?
Not murder, but probably attempted manslaughter. Right? I'll ask my dad.
Is attempted manslaughter even a thing?
Do we have any lawyers in the
like
chat?
An accident. So if you attempt an accident, that's obviously, you can't attempt an accident.
Oh, attempted murder then.
Attempted murder?
Yeah, I mean,
because they would have died had they'd been alive.
God, maybe you don't know that. You'd have to look at the postmortem and prove that the stab
would have caused death
from that person versus the other person. Dude, that's a good question. It's interesting. I want to know. Ooh, Obi-Wan Pez says when the payoff comes, you guys need to watch this episode back again. You'll be surprised how right/wrong you were about certain things. Ooh, that's so exciting. But which parts are right and which are wrong?
I want to kind of know. Just say warm or cold, really. Is it book?
Tyler also, Sati Boy says, I wanted to point this out last week. It stated that not many people travel on this train line this time of year. Yet there's over a dozen people on this one train when the last train had just 3 to 4 people. It has to be a group.
And how are they maintaining themselves in public? Because we've already established the fact that Mary Debenham knows the colonel. Mm-hmm. And then now in this group scenario, there's a completely different vibe, not only with each other, but she's got a different demeanor as well. Mm-hmm. Sorry, microphone. There's so many damn layers. There's so many things that it could maybe be.
And there's also the mysterious sort of relatives of the Armstrongs who are remaining. There's a younger daughter out there. Could be half of those. We haven't met a bunch of people yet.
Yeah.
There's the sister of the mom or the grandmother who is an actress. No, the grandmother who's an actress. She's still alive.
Who's friends with Dragomirov. Dragomirov.
Which makes me think that either one of those people is posing as one of the people on the train.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the deal?
There's such a weird age range and background range and all these intense...
But class range as well, really?
But, I mean, they could buy any... I don't know. It just... Because if you were trying to pose as... You could just pose as someone else and adopt an accent, theoretically.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what Ratchet did.
Yeah.
Which is why he's in this debacle in the first place. Where's the dining cart?
The dining cart. Yeah, there's also some weird stuff about the wagon restaurant. So that must be the dining cart.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And then there's the conductor's seat. And then there's all the people who are working on the train and the valets.
Yes.
As well.
He says valet in the book when I'm listening.
I think that's probably...
I'm learning a lot listening.
British.
Ah, which means it's Australian too.
Yeah.
I've been in America for too long.
No, stay.
Ding.
I really want to listen to it, but I just, every time I think about it, I don't have time.
I'll let you listen to it.
But, okay.
Anytime you need. You want to hear, everyone, you want to hear some?
Thrash Odin thinks that the second daughter is on the train too. Thanks, Sky Lauren.
Here, where's
It's old 11 or young 11.
The Russian princess.
This is. I want you to hear.
Let us hear what Pierre Michel has to say about this button.
He said. That's Poirot.
The wagon-lee conductor was recalled. He looked at them inquiringly. Monsieur Bouc cleared his throat. Michel, he said, here is a button from your tunic. It was found in the American lady's compartment. What have you to say for yourself about it?
What's the deal with the button, man?
And Monsieur Bouc.
Sorry, when I read that, I was like, well, this doesn't make sense at all.
Well, they're having a discussion. It's like, it is from your tunic. But again, Book is so quick to be like, this is the evidence. And the way that Dan Stevens is voicing him, he's very frantic. He's like really quite
interesting.
Not entirely stable. I mean, in comparison with Hercule, who's just so
That's how I hear Poirot. And that's why I feel like the movie is going to super throw me off, because he's like, mellow.
He's a bit dramatic.
Yeah, he's very, Yeah, because he's...
so am I, it's fine. But
he's also, Lockhart.
Yeah.
I keep seeing that in my head, too.
Can you disassociate?
No.
He was so good in that movie.
He's perfect as Lockhart. He's, like, perfect, I feel
is he a perfect Poirot?
T-Boy says, who's narrating the audiobook? It's...
Yes, Dan Stevens. Dan Stevens has been in, Legion, which is discovered, which is the FX series. He was the Beast in Beauty and the Beast, who ended up being Prince Adam.
He's in The Guest, the Adam Wingard movie, right? It's Adam Wingard? Yeah, that's really good if you guys like thrillers.
How do we bring up a picture of Dan Stevens? Does that happen, or are we just like, no, blew it?
We can do it next week, maybe.
Missed our chance. Well, you guys, you're on the computer, so you've obviously got Google.
That's true.
Chuck a Google in. He's pretty rad. I love his voice though.
I highly recommend. The Guest was the movie that made me think, oh, he could do the Beast. My feelings on that film notwithstanding, because turned out maybe not. But what I also like here is...
Hold on, back up. You didn't like Dan Stevens as the Beast?
I liked him.
What?
Didn't like the movie.
Oh, we're talking about the movie. I thought you meant you didn't like Dan Stevens as the Beast.
No, I thought he did a good job. The character design in the entire movie was...
Got it. Okay, we could spend half the episode talking about
Beauty and the Beast,
Emma Watson's tragic performance. But anyway, so bad.
That's okay. People have their strengths.
How
and
hard is
singing
it?
Is
wow, isn't this amazing? It's my favorite part because you'll see it's not fucking hard. Anyway,
they should just put a wig on. You're good to go, man.
I'm too tall to be Belle. I'm too tall to be a Disney princess.
No, don't say that. That means I'm too tall.
Think about it. Too old and too tall.
No.
I can be a really good Maleficent. Oh, this is what happens when there's no Hector.
I know, we're just like, can we talk about Disney now? Oh, yeah, that Dan Stevens. So, 3 best Belgian exports, Sprouts beer and Hercule Perre. So, there's another, oh God, what was I gonna say? Oh, I like that he also is creating a timeline for us. And it's not necessarily the right timeline. Again, calling it now. Didn't happen at one. It's too obvious.
I never even thought about that. I thought he's a detective. He could get a window real quickly, and there were consistencies that aligned it all. Because he has been talking about the bumps in the night, and when people were asleep, when people were awake, people seeing the girl.
I think
that's a fascinating.
I think he's holding a lot. Like you can tell when people are saying, "Well, it must be this." He's like,
Yeah, he's not playing
he's
his
not
cards,
sharing.
Except the Ratchet card. He wants to tell everyone. Do you know the actual identity of Ratchet? Well, he happens to be the child killer. Like he's volunteering this information because I think he needs to see the reaction.
Yes, exactly. Okay. I think the way he's interrogating people is to see, and you can see it in how he speaks to McQueen and other people. Do they seem sorry that he's dead?
Yes.
Do they know who he really was? Do they know what happened? Are they related to this person?
And it's interesting to know that because Ratchet is such a piece of shit, like it's more obvious if they are not happy that he's dead. Mm-hmm. Like if they were like, oh, that's such a tragedy that he's dead. Well, he's this kind of person. Still, that's such a loss. It's like, ding, why?
Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
And then I feel like too, because he sees that people are planting clues for him, or someone, they're planting clues.
Yep.
That he might find the timing suspect too, because it's just so obvious that, well, we heard him talking to someone at this time, and it's like, well, how well do you know him? You're hearing it through the door. Someone heard Mrs. Michelle Pfeiffer heard a
Hubbard.
Yes, Hubbard.
I love this page. I
know it's so good, right? Mrs. Hubbard, who I don't trust at all.
Well, my daughter does not agree with that at all. If my daughter found out that you didn't like her.
Making up a persona, I feel like it's her because she's going way overboard with the daughter stuff. It's like she's painting a I don't know. But she thought she heard a woman in the other room. There's the Swedish
I thought that Ratchet would having a bit of a nightly dalliance. Mm-hmm. The Swedish woman's very interesting. She walked in on him reading a book. I'm not entirely convinced it was a book. that he was reading.
Yeah, it felt...
She was
very flustered. Yeah. Something was...
And then needed, what was it, a paracetamol, Advil? What was she needing?
Yeah, she wanted aspirin or something.
That's the one. And then obviously Hubbard had a big freak out. Does she strike you as the kind of woman that would be dramatic and kind of love the fact that this happened around her or that she was a part of this mystery? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The first thing she said was, the murderer was in my room.
Yeah.
Like declared it. And was just like, no one's believing me, but it's happening to me.
Yeah, she loves being the center of attention. There's also, I think another line of questioning that Poirot is throwing out, or like tidbit, is letting certain people know who he is.
I thought he'd been telling everyone.
Yeah, but to see, I think he's trying to see their reaction to that, to see if they knew already. Mm-hmm. And it's played off like he's like, well, why wouldn't you know who I am? But I think it's more he's trying to see if someone's trying to play him.
So this information that he's unveiling, that's the identity of Ratchet? Or is that who he is?
I think who he, like, because he's said to a few people, like, I'm Poirot, and I feel like he's gauging their reaction too.
Got it. Because Dragomirov, she thought he looked familiar and has heard of the establishment. I believe it was Countess Andreni who knew about International Detective Agency, and I think could call on it by name if I'm not mistaken. But knew a little bit too much about that. What else did we learn about Mary Debenham in this one?
I don't think we haven't talked to her yet.
Got it.
So good. I don't think we know much about her except that she's either having an affair with this colonel, and there was, there was also a, when they're on the first train on the way there, and she needs to be on the train. She is rushing to make this train.
Yes.
Which is weird. And also, they have an argument that he overhears.
So she's rushing to miss the train because she's got a hit to make.
I'm sort of thinking maybe that
and now that she's calm, it's not about getting to the destination, it's being on the transport.
Yes.
Damn, that makes sense.
Possibly. But then she also says, so there's a part where they're like ignoring him. Where is it? I gotta find it.
Knox has read ahead. Shush, shush.
Where is it? Oh yeah, okay, so
are they wondering where to read to? I can help with that.
It's 11, and it starts with.
Oh, we're reading?
Yeah, I was just gonna read this one part where it says.
What page?
11.
Oh, right at the beginning.
The colonel, Hercule Poirot noticed, accompanied her back to her compartment. Later, they passed through the magnificent scenery of the Taurus. As they looked down towards the Sicilian gates, standing in the corridor side by side, a sigh came suddenly from the girl. Poirot was standing near them and heard her murmur, "It's so beautiful. I wish, yes, I wish I could enjoy it." Arbuthnot did not answer. The square line of his jaw seemed a little sterner and grimmer. "I wish to heaven you were out of all this," he said. "Hush, please, hush." And just this whole scene.
It's such an intimate, personal thing to say.
And then, there's another part where they're arguing, and he said on 13, and he says, "Mary," she goes, "not now when it's all over, when it's behind us."
Us.
He would have hardly recognized the cool, efficient voice of Miss Debenham. So I feel like there might be someone else there.
So she's been caught.
Or I don't know. Or maybe I feel like Agatha Christie wants us to think that Miss Debenham is there for a hit. There might be some other story going on here that's not the murder. It could be an affair, it could be blackmail, it could be she stole something from the rich family, something like that.
That's a dangling carrot.
It's too much of a dangling carrot.
Because Monsieur Book trying to point the finger and solve the case, there's credibility behind why he would be doing that.
Yeah.
It could be smoke and mirrors to save his own skin. It also could be the fact that he's trying to impress Mr. Hercule Poirot.
Yeah, and there's been a murder on his train, and he just wants to find. Yeah, it could be anything.
Yeah.
T. Boyce is behind. I stopped reading after Mrs. Hubbard's chapter. We read up to the end of 6, right? Before the Count and Countess. Did you read that?
Chapter 7.
Yeah.
The evidence of Count and Countess Andreni.
That's where we stopped, right? Yeah. Okay, cool.
How good's that?
Ridley is also a reason I suspect her wilds get her while hot off Star Wars. That's a good point.
That's a good point. She's hot. Well, she's like so hot right now. So hot right now is what she's hot too.
Yeah.
Anyway, I noticed that with the casting. I was like, who? Obviously, like when they are trying to make you think it's a particular one, or whoever's going to get more screen time, or who has a purposeful storyline, is going to be a bigger name.
I've noticed that the new Jafar, young hot Jafar in the live action Guy Ritchie Aladdin, which
what is that
movie gonna look like?
What a sentence!
He plays Pierre, the conductor, with the button.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see him because I haven't seen him in anything before.
Right.
But the button really annoys me because it's another thing that's placed on her book, right? She finds it in the room on her book. That
Instantly,
feels
the first
so
thing in the
deliberate.
morning she found it.
It's either her doing it or someone's trying to throw someone off the scent. I don't know.
And I think that if you're going to create a great distraction, having a woman like Hubbard is the best person to kind of be extreme with it all. But this button is from the uniform, but it's not from the conductor's uniform.
Yes.
There's more than one conductor though.
But they said that none of them were missing them.
At all.
Yeah.
So who got the button?
I don't know.
What's with the button?
What's
the deal with the button? Is it really pushing our buttons? I hate what I just did then, but I can't take it back. Especially because I can't wink. It would have been better if I could wink.
I can't wink either.
Anyway, I'm going to go regret more actions of mine. Not what we meant, Maude, but not wrong either. What was that? Oh, sorry, my bad. I thought you were wondering where you had to read up to, and I was helping you effortlessly. But that's what happens when you intermittently look at the chat. Intermittently. What else is happening in the chat?
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Who do you think it is? Who done it and why?
Yeah, who done it and why? And if you know, don't tell us. We don't want to be spoiled on this. I also had a thought.
I wonder what kind of dressing gown I would have in this era.
Okay, good point.
Thank you.
What's her name? Dragon Mironov?
Yeah.
Dragon.
Dragon Smirnoff.
The kimono has dragons on it.
But is she able to be swift?
I don't know.
She's so old and toad-like.
Is she?
Is she indeed? I'm questioning.
Don't trust anything in this book. Every time I read someone, I'm like, they could be anyone.
Pinkishly, it was the spare button that they sew on the inside of the shirt. That's valid. That's very valid.
That is really good.
But does that take a certain amount of common knowledge about garments to be able to pull that off?
I feel...
What was the part about the hat as well? The hat box?
Oh, okay. Yeah. What's a spirit box? It's our spirit stove. It's like, I looked it up. It looks like I don't get how they did it. I wish Kyle Hill were here because he could science it for us. But if you guys know what this is, it was like someone called Kyle. No, he's on his way home.
There's from Stephen because he's looking it up right now.
Yeah, it's like a little camping fire almost, or like a mini fire. And so he finds... For tea, maybe?
Metal mesh. Well, he said he heated up his oils for his mustache with it. That's what he was.
Oh, yeah, that's what he said. Oh, yeah. But how did he lift the words off the burnt paper? Because my thinking was, you know, when you have like a crayon and you can see what someone wrote?
Yes, you shade.
Not that they would have a... But I couldn't figure out how you could see what was written on there.
Depending on the material of the paper, yeah, I think if you kind of almost burn it or the smoke.
Oh, it could show
what it out.
Maybe because of the ink that they used too.
Usually like with a map, if you have your lighter and you just...
Okay. Don't try that at home, kids.
Or do, and send us the result. I'm an enabler.
That was to find the Armstrong note.
Yes. Which again happened very easily, but he's the world's greatest detective. Oh, I'm so torn.
I know. I can't tell what's real and what's not. We have the match. I'm trying to think if there are any. Are we missing any clues, y'all? What do you guys think? I still wonder the language everything is going on in Says Mastera. It is plausible for everything to happen mostly in French. All the events are translated. Well, but they do say that in certain parts he switches back to his native French. So I think they're speaking English because it's a British company, right?
The train line?
Mm-hmm. Or is it Belgian?
I have no idea.
I don't know, y'all. Look it up.
But he's reading to me in English, so...
Yeah, main ogre says graphite or the iron and ink would glow under the heat. Thank you. Perfect.
Boom. Thank you. Wow, main ogre. That's amazing.
Nox. I do not know, but believe there are more than one murderers. Yeah.
That's what
I thought you said murders for a second, and I was like, who else is dead?
Oh.
I don't trust anything that's happening in this book. I'm going like full conspiracy theory. I mean, I guess it would make more sense for them to speak French, but a lot of them are American and British. So, right?
Yes. I love that there's distaste between the British and the Americans, and it was at Ratchet's valet, who is British. He's like, how do I say this, sir? I have not fondness for the Americans. So what's going on there?
He could be American and could be trying to fool us that he's British.
Stop it. Oh my God. How will I ever enjoy this book again?
I'm so sorry.
I'm questioning everything.
I know, it's just, but that's what's fun.
So hold on, let's go through them all, because what are the things we're seeing? Who smokes a pipe?
Yes.
We've only got one at the moment. Who was it again? Who smoked the pipe?
It wasn't a pipe, it was cigarettes, right?
I swear there's one that smokes a pipe we've unveiled. Gugh. We also need to know who was up and about around 1:15.
Oh, right, because the Colonel and McQueen were hanging out.
That's right, they became buddies talking about the business and the white collar stuff over there. I don't know.
And they could be each other's alibis, potentially.
That's the thing.
One of them could be in the kimono, for all we know. And there's the man servant. Is there like a character list in here? That would be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, we're definitely gonna full on.
Yeah, because it's very interesting as well, because like when we were saying, it's not only are they from different areas, but there is a class system. So they do have, the people in charge and their help. So
yes.
It's like,
we
loyal?
haven't even met half of those people.
Yeah.
So Edward Masterman, because it's on the
yes,
it's on this, so I can
here.
find it now. He's Ratchet's like manservant base, his valet.
With the British man.
Yes. So he saw McQueen and the Colonel chatting, and he says he went like, I'm picturing he's out at the end where you can open the door and there's kind of the snow.
Got it.
Then there's also the Mrs. Hubbard's room. I don't know why that one is so hard for me. Her room was supposed to be bolted, but then it wasn't.
Yes. And it was the Swedish woman who checked and said that it was. Was she lying? Did she do it?
Did someone unlock it?
In the interim? When did she call for the what do you call them? P.
Oh, Morse telegraph.
Nope. Just she used the call button for the.
Oh yeah, the bell.
Yeah, but who's the person? Who's she calling? Not the conductor. The starts with a P, isn't it? The P. The help.
Yeah, I don't know.
People who have been making the cots, the God, I've just forgotten words.
I don't know what you're talking.
Anyone, anytime, ding, help me, ding, ding. I feel like Mrs. Hubbard, ding, 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 ding. Anyone at all? Help me with this.
I don't remember.
Because that's the other thing where it's like the help of the train was making up the beds in the compartment at particular different times as well. Yes. And then you've got who's been taking sleeping drafts and who hasn't.
Yes, and Masterman gives Ratchet his sleeping.
Doesn't see him drink it.
And the reason that they think that there's no struggle is that he was drugged.
Yes.
But was he drugged by that sleeping aid or something else? Was he poisoned? Also, which one? The princess, when she says, Hercule Poirot, I remember now, this is destiny.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Threw him off a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, what is going on with that? Mm-hmm. And like, she just made a power play move.
Yeah.
And she's got money. And I feel like she's a bit of a puppet master.
Yeah, she does feel, I feel I feel like if there are two murderers, one of them is the red herring and one of them is the sneaky snake. For lack of a better term. Like the one who's planning, who's the mastermind behind all of this. There's someone who is like an obvious character who's supposed to be distracting us. And then there's someone behind the scenes. That's what I think so far.
Do you think the one behind the scenes still committed said murder, or was just the one kind of conducting all of the affairs?
I don't know. It depends on the motive.
You know what I really want to do? I want to read to the end of the book. And so that when we have our discussions, I can be that asshole that's like, go on. Why do you think that would be the case?
I know.
What a fascinating assumption. Are you right, though? Oh, I want to do that. I hate surprises.
I like it, but I definitely... there's a point usually in mysteries where I get close to the end and I have to really slow down because I'm like,
I know.
God, I gotta figure it out. Yeah.
I missed most of that, but now I have the answer. Also, really want to clarify, whoever had read ahead in the comments, I am not calling you an asshole. I am calling you my hero.
Yeah.
Did it again.
It's definitely fun to be the person who's like with Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Which I was not one of those people with books, but I watched all the videos of people where they were like, for the Red Wedding, and they just watched like, I'm waiting for you
It was still different
out.
though. The Red Wedding, how it happened in the books,
yeah,
and what really went down, there were huge differences, really.
But still that like surprise of like, or even Ned Stark. I'm not going to spoiler alert because it's been on.
That's 7 years. Yeah.
I
was like 4 when Ned Stark died in season 1.
Yeah, you were just a wee baby.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Java Boogie Girl. Do we think this is a group murder where everyone has specific parts to play from distraction, setup to actual killing? Totally could be possible.
I would not have thought that until kind of discussing it now, only because someone had to unlock Hubbard's door, knowing that Hubbard's room was going to be the escape. So how did they plan for the weather? How did they know that the train would be stopped as well?
Did someone stop? Maybe it wasn't supposed to be stopped.
So they had to rethink their strategy completely.
Maybe.
Which is what, maybe the window was left open because they were supposed to bolt out the window and went, ooh.
But there's also the theory that they did climb out the window but went into their own room and left the window open. So anyone walking down the hall, it could be anyone because they could have just opened, and who's the furthest away? Too, because I feel like there's placement of the rooms that's weird.
He's right smack bang in the middle, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's in the middle, and there's like McQueen is confused when Poirot is near him for the first night.
Yeah,
and thinks that he's leaving, and then Poirot gets moved closer to Ratchet, and there's this room 16 that's supposed to be empty.
Yeah.
For the whole time, and someone's in there, and we
Who's
haven't
Cyrus
met that
Hardman?
person.
We've never met him.
We haven't met, no.
Who is Cyrus Hardman? No one knows?
And who was the person that was supposed to be in Poirot's room that never made it? Who's that?
Oh, who got booted?
Yeah. And did he actually make it on the train? Is there someone that's not on the manifest?
I will never be able to ride the train normally ever again. Thanks,
murdering cult. Yeah,
cult murder. Yeah.
It could be everyone, because remember they said that normally there are only 3 or 4 people and now we have like 12. What if it's like the daughter, the grandma, the family of the
It's all connected.
It could be everyone.
It could be us. Yeah, I did it. Yeah. I jumped in a time machine when Agatha was writing it, realized Johnny Depp was going to be cast as him. I had to kill him.
Yeah.
What? Oh, Maude, that doesn't even make sense. Cool.
Well, that's true theory.
Hold on. So who does everyone say in the comments that they think it is and why?
Who do you guys think it is?
We
have a couple minutes left.
We do this every time. We have to say, you think it's Mary Debenham.
I think Mary Debenham is a potential red herring, because I think introducing her in the beginning and making her seem, all the observations makes me think that she is hiding something else.
Got it.
But I'm probably going to eat my words. I still suspect Book. I suspect one of the older ladies. Any of the older ladies. I feel like...
That's 4.
Yeah, I have a lot of suspects so far. We're only halfway through.
You sound like Hercule Poirot, where everyone is guilty until the very end.
They are.
When he figures it out. He's a bit of a smug bastard, isn't he?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, okay.
very
I'm
French.
a Sherlock girl, I think. I think I like that quirky inner demon, apart from that arrogant, I'll solve the problem and I will send you to $20,000. Not my best. I'm glad you had your best French impression tonight.
You guys do great voices all the time, and mine are so bad. Let me have this. I'm always like,
if anything, I made yours look better.
Thank you.
I am here to boost you, today.
I will. God, I've like, I'm a mess today. But I was just gonna say something.
Oh my gosh, I just saw your shirt and got it. That's great. Oh, that's so great.
I was gonna say, the reason that I like Poirot, even though he's smug, is because of the humor that's in there. I think if he was just smug, but it's very playful. Like his observations are fun to me.
He seems bored. He seems real bored to me. He's like, oh, here we go again. All right.
I think that's part of it, because this is apparently number 10 in Hercule Poirot's adventures.
And I can notice that like he's obviously picked up a lot and knows these situations very, very religiously. But the poor guy just wanted a little bit of a holiday. He just wanted to stop off at Istanbul, didn't he, for a couple of nights?
You can't.
No.
Not when you're Poirot.
Not when everyone's getting murdered.
There's murder afoot.
I don't have a pun for a foot.
Thrash Odin thinks it's the Colonel.
Why?
Mr. Sky Lauren thinks Palpatine's behind it all.
Mrs. Kylo.
Oh, Mrs.
Ren.
Oh.
Mrs. Kylo Ren.
Hi, Erin. I don't know why I read it that way.
What did he say again?
Mr. Sky Lauren.
Lauren.
I don't know, man. I'm an editor.
I love that.
Doesn't the butler always do it? Sometimes.
That's a good point.
That's true. Yeah, yeah. It is like, oh my God, I miss Community.
What happened with Annie's Pink Pen? That's another conversation.
But well, let us know what you guys think. What do you think is going to happen? I mean, we're definitely going to interview more people, so it's like we don't have all the clues.
No,
I don't want to look at the chapter names.
I do like what we are searching for. So now there's particular things that if we hear it, we will get excited because there's going to be some payoffs.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes.
Because we have direction.
Yes.
And clues.
Yeah, no, yeah. Oh my gosh, can we get
Yeah.
magnifying glasses?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, can we play Clue? And I was like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Can we just watch Clue?
Yeah.
Yeah, props?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool, great. And the board? Ooh.
Yep, and the board.
Yay! We're going to solve this. We're going to solve this mystery before the last one.
Obi-Wan
next
Pez.
time.
Agatha Christie once said she hated writing Poirot, probably because of the smugness, at least in part. And then Knox wants to follow on with that. Is Poirot arrogant or confident? That's a question I'd like to ask myself a lot. Am I arrogant or confident?
Confident.
It's a fine line, man.
Confident.
Is it?
What am I doing? I don't know. What?
Hector, come back, you bastard! Why would you do this?
This is what happens. Hector. Oh my God, what if he was on the train?
It was Hector.
Did he do it? We're gonna have to.
Ask yourself this, everyone. Would Hector kill Ratchet?
No, he's too sweet.
Knowing what he did.
No, he'd get him arrested.
I would like to think in 1934, Hector would solve some shit with a good stabbing. No.
Well, we'll find out next week when we ask him, and we'll tell him exactly what you said.
Can everyone lie if I am wrong? Because that could come out highly offensive.
I mean, I feel like if it was my family, easy.
Yeah.
But like, if I just knew that someone did that, I'd probably try to get him arrested or...
And there's ample ways to do that on this train.
Or, sorry, someone could be threatening him, someone could be blackmailing him, they could not be connected at all. It could, I don't know.
What if and it could is literally the crux of this book. What if it could, but is it? Stay till next week for Hercule Poirot.
Yes! Oh my God, Mr. Police. Your homework for this week is to read to the beginning of chapter 15 in part 2. The evidence of the passenger's luggage. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I love that we're going through all the, I really like the structure of this book.
Yes,
I feel like it's really fun for a mystery, and now I feel like I'm gonna just
literally
read
unraveling.
all of, yes.
Yeah.
Don't forget, we're also on Goodreads. Search Alpha Book Club and come discuss with us. Also in the forums on Alpha. If you're interested in joining us, you can call in, show us your beautiful face. Just let us know on Twitter at Join Team Alpha with the hashtag Alpha Book Club, and we'll get you all set up. We're not scary. We're fun.
I'm a little bit intimidating,
kind
actually.
of. We're pretty fun. I mean, if you're watching, then you could talk to us. Make sure you send us your book recommendations to @Nerdist, @Geek and Sundry, or @Join Team Alpha, every time I say that wrong, with the hashtag Alpha Book Club, because we're going to need a new book to read in December.
Goodness.
And January.
Already December?
And February.
What did we read last December? Let's not worry our pretty heads with that right now.
I don't remember what was December, but Hector still hasn't read Harry Potter, and we all still haven't read The Golden Compass together. I'm just putting that out there.
Wingardium like he needs to. Oh, I didn't throw the book that time. That was purely accident.
And we like this one.
Yeah, I don't think I'll throw this one.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.